Hello and welcome to my little stringing man cave here. I hope you have some time to spare, because in the next couple of minutes I would like to show you and present you a brand new stringing machine. It's called the Tennisman StringMaster Deluxe SE and is standing here right in front of me. Before we get started, a big thank you to Dirk from Tennisman for sending me the machine and letting me keep it for the past, I think 3 weeks was it now. I was able to do some intense testing with it, also string a number of records on it, and I think this is also needed to get a proper feel for the machine and for the whole look and feel of it. Back there is my trusted Super Stringer T20, and hands down I would have never expected that it will take so long to really get familiar with a different machine when you basically do an upgrade, because we'll see later on, this one is placed 1 league higher than the Super Stringer, but still at least I think 5 jobs I needed just to get the same feel or feel at home again, let's say. So I also would like to say I'm not getting any money for this or any benefit whatsoever from Tennisman. If I like something about the machine, I will tell it as it is. If I don't like something, I will also tell it. Make sure of that, be sure of that. The video will consist of 6 chapters. First of all, we will have an overview, like the general things. Second chapter will be then focus on the turntable, see how the details, how the side supports are moving or the supports in general are adjusted. Chapter number 3 will be covering the clamp bases, which I think are one of the key features of the machine. Chapter 4, the clamps itself. Chapter 5 will also be concerning the clamps, because we will do a little pull test to see how much they can hold, how much tension, and do they damage the string or something like that. Then chapter 6, a little summary, which I think is not very surprising. In the description section below the video I will also add some relevant links also to the shop, and maybe one important link will be to the discussion forum BadmintonCentral. There will be a thread in which I will also show this review and also add an album with detailed pictures of the machine. So if you're interested in seeing more of it or some more details of it, make sure to check out this thread, because you will find some more information, also maybe an ongoing discussion, and I think this is also the best place to enter some questions. If you don't want to do that there, you can also of course do it in the comment section here. I will try my best to answer the questions that you have. First of all, let's check out some basics, some basic facts about it. The first thing you will notice when you get your hands on this, it's freaking heavy. This thing is a tank, literally. I heard the mailman complaining from outside the door before he even managed to ring the bell, because he was pushing and hauling around this big box out of his car. Stupid me, I unboxed it and then hauled it up here 2 floors up the stairs. Almost broke my back or something, so not the youngest anymore. So it was a real struggle to get it up here. But before, I noticed that the designers and the manufacturer have thought of something to make your life a bit easier when you have to move it. Watch this. All you need to do, grab the turntable, pull it upwards, and there you go. You have it separated from the base plate. So, which then makes 2 compact units to transport, both with a weight which is manageable. And let me tell you this, if you want to put it back again, just make it like this, insert it into the bearing, and you're good to go again. Because the machine without the tension head, so only base plate and the turntable, is about 30 kilograms. So make sure that if you want to carry it around in one piece, make sure you have someone helping you out with it. So what's the marketing strategy? What's the position of it? Tennisman clearly intended to offer one of the best built drop weight machines on the market. So you can see it here with the Lockwise tension head, but this is a motor that I had already on my previous machine. So the base version of it comes as a drop weight. I think it is a trend that I see in several threads and comments, that many stringers want to do kind of an upgrade strategy with their machine. So not spending thousands of dollars for an integrated, super fancy electronic machine, but to start with a base machine, then later on add a tensioning head, an electronic one, or maybe, I don't know, like change the clamps or whatever. So it's the same that I did. I also started with the Super Stringer as a drop weight, and then added the tension head later on. I think it's an interesting strategy to offer a highest level or highest possible level basis to do these upgrades on. I think the release on the market is scheduled for spring this year, and it will be available in several versions. So there will be a version with a longer base plate, so that you have more storage room for tools. Another one will be without the movable towers, but with a more compact turntable, which is then suited only for badminton. With this machine, as it is here, you can do both. You can do from tennis to squash to badminton. You can basically do everything with it. Speaking about pricing, this one is a drop weight version. The base version will be at around sales price, including German VAT, will be at around 800 euros, which hands down is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of money for a drop weight stringing machine. For comparison, the Super Stringer T20, which is back here, and also which is hands down is doing a great job. I had always, from the first jobs on, I had a good time with it. It delivers really consistent results, and this one is about 500 euros. And if you compare it from if you make a comparison from the features, that will be the closest, also in the shop from Tennisman, will be the Super Stringer T70, which is currently at about 650 euros. So we are talking about a price difference between the kind of a well-built basic machine, which is this one. It also has a lot of features already, like the semi-automatic clamp bases and so on. Between this one and this one is at around 300 euros. So for these 300 euros, the StringMaster really has to offer something, in my opinion. And I think that's the basic question that we will have to answer, or I will have to try to find an answer for. Is it worth the extra 300 euros compared to, let's say, a Super Stringer T20 or maybe a Gamma X Stringer, which is also in the same price region as this one? Is it really worth it or not? I hope we will find out also when we finished this clip, or we will have a better opinion about that. The first thing that we will have a closer look at is the turntable. First of all, regarding the dimensions, it's a fairly large turntable with the main posts being rather far apart, and to compensate that and to make it even possible to mount smaller rackets like badminton on it, you have these fairly long side support arms. Make sure, if you want to string badminton rackets with it, that you have the right main support bits mounted on the machine, because they come in two different sizes. Just going to put that one out. So here we go. This one is the badminton version, and if you compare this to the standard tennis version, which is a lot shorter. Of course, the badminton one is needed because the racket frame is smaller, so it needs to move more to the center of the turntable. So I'm just going to put that back again. we go. Regarding the supports, also they come without any plastic bits on it, as you see on other machines where they have these also from on the tennis support here. You see there's this white plastic bit on it. The badminton version doesn't come with one of these. Instead, it comes with two sets of load spreaders that can be mounted directly on the support. Also, they are numbered because they're available in two different spacings regarding the teeth. The top one is supposed to be for 80 plus hole rackets, so 80, 88 and 96 I think is the versions that are available. The lower one is with the wider spacing is for standard 72 and 76 hole rackets. Yeah, then we have here the side support adjustments, which are self-centered versions, so it's just one knob that you had to turn to make them move both in parallel. This one here moves the main support as shown before. The base plate itself is made from aluminum. It has a kind of a powder coating on it, which gives it a smooth surface. Down here we have the adjustment lever for the locking and unlocking of the main tower, if you want to move that one. So if you want to unlock it, just flip it in this direction. If you want to put it back firm in place, just go the other way around, and then it's fixed again. On top of the turntable, on the base plate, there we have the rails for the clamps. They are mounted, so there are separate parts mounted on the base plate. Same goes for the rails for the main towers. Machining quality is really good, so the surfaces are all smooth, and if I move around now the base in it, you see there is practically no friction or no extensive friction that's it's kind of blocking the base from moving. So this fairly well done. There is also a feature which you can't see from that perspective, but I'm just going to tell you. There is a lever on this side that you can switch, and this one is locking the turntable. So it's kind of a turntable brake, a manual one. Might come in handy if you want to tie knots, or also later on for doing the pull tests. This comes in very handy. The side support bits, it's always a bit of an issue, also mostly on these lower priced machines. These ones are the stock version, the stock ones that come with it. So from my point of view, the design is fairly good. So you have the touching surface in front here, so there is some space to work behind the bit. Also, it's not that thick, so all in all, a pretty well made design. Just to compare it with the well-known, in the meantime, well-known Chudex supports. Personally speaking, yes, the Chudex are still that little bit better, but I don't see any crucial reason why you would need it with this machine. This was for me very different, coming from the Super Stringer T20, which comes with pretty much poor side support bits for badminton. So next up, just to show you how to mount a racket on it, I'll take this standard 72 hole racket. So just make sure you get the right spot, get it centered, put it here, then tighten the top support, tighten the side supports, 1, 2, make sure everything's firmly locked and the racket sits in very tightly and very securely. A word of caution coming from different machines: make sure to take your time to properly get to know this machine and to get used to it. Also, when it comes to how the supports feel during tightening. In the beginning, I had several rackets that came out a bit too round from the shape. Plain and simple reason was that I simply didn't tighten the main supports enough. So it felt like they were really tight and firmly in place, but the mechanics, they give you a bit of a different feel than I had previously on my other machine. So it felt basically like the supports were firmly in place, but in fact they weren't. So the racket got compressed. It had play in the main supports and got compressed during the job. Which is easy to regulate, of course, or to change. I just take care now that I make it tight enough on the main supports, and from that point on the rackets came out perfectly in shape again. So that's it for the turntable. One word of regarding quality of the bearing. I think that might be interesting. So as you can see, this thing is moving extremely well. So the friction is pretty much not there. It's a high quality steel ball bearing that holds the turntable in place. So also this is top quality, definitely.